joining us in the Sugar and Crumbs kitchen. Sorry we're a couple of minutes late, only we were doing a Facebook Live on my private page.
My fault.
John's fault. So in the kitchen this evening we've got John, Maria and Sue Pinnick from Yummy Cakes by Sue, who's based on the Wirral. And I asked Sue to come along to the Sugar and Crumbs kitchen and do a demo for us. And when we were talking about the things that she was going to use, so she's going to use a Patchwork cutter mould, a Katie Sue mould, a Karen Davies mould. And then we were talking about our audience. And you as an audience, a lot of you are newbies, a lot of you are hobby bakers, a lot of you are professionals, semi-professionals, but whatever skill levels you are, at one stage in your life you will have all been confused about sugar paste.
That's right.
Wouldn't we? And Sue identified that because she's been watching the sessions, she's seen us ask questions, you've seen different demonstrators come on, and you all get confused. Which one's this? Is this the best one? Was that the best one? Why is this not working? So basically Sue is going to talk us all through that, as well as making something really nice and creative for Easter, so we're looking forward to that. So I'd like you to give her the thumbs up, give her a nice big warm welcome as we do in the Sugar and Crumbs kitchen. Let her know that we're really pleased to have her here, because I will tell you, this lady was confident until we went live. And as soon as we went live, she said, and we was on the other page, she said, "Can I sit down and have a drink of water? Are you feeling okay now?" Yeah. So I am going to hand you over to Sue. Any questions, I'm going to shout them out for you. So it's John, do you want to shout out a couple of hellos, see how we're doing?
Because I can't see who's on.
You can't see who's on? Are we on the right page?
I can see the comments, but I can't see who's made them.
Right, okay.
I'm usually the one on the other side, seeing who else is watching with me.
So, well, while we're here, let me just talk about, I've got some new things as well for sale. So before John starts shouting out, we've got some of these lovely new cupcake cases in. These are fantastic. So in a lovely vibrant red and white. They come in packs of 200. And I just love this lovely design. Never seen them like that before, have you?
They're gorgeous.
They're great.
Yeah.
So those are on sale there, new in the kitchen. What else have we got here? Wilton have brought out a set of 3 smoothers. So let's just do this a moment. Get them out of the packet. And they all do different shapes. Just one second. Just have a little fight with the packet as you do. Have you seen it? So Wilton have brought these out. And let's open it up. Since we're talking about sugar paste, we'll talk about buttercream, because I'll be on doing the Nifty Nozzles demo soon. So, oh, that's nice, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sure that's like my 4-sided scraper. But anyhow, you've got 6 different sides there. They're absolutely fab. They're good, aren't they? Yeah, so they're nice big cones from Wilton. They're out there on the website. Everything in the new arrivals section. One second, let's put that out of the way there. Let me think what else is new here. Oh, I'll just put that away in a minute. Let me just pass this to Sue's daughter, she can put it away. There you go, Zoe. Something for you to do. So, who have we got with us, John?
We've got a good turnout, a lot of regulars and some new people.
Hi.
No, not quite
Feeling
sure.
confident now. Hi!
Just run through a few names. We've got Pauline Ricketts, Sarah Byway, Yvonne Mason, Claire Watts, Vanda Baker, Pam Hallam Wedley, Julie Crompton, Kelda Aspire, Pauline Carr, Deb Bowditch, Rob Allen, Georgie Taylor, Joe Chaplin. Sorry, we've got a lot. A lot of people are saying hello, so apologies if we didn't read out your name.
Fantastic. Well, I'm glad you're all here. If you're a newbie, do shout up that you're a newbie. Let us know where you are in the world, because we do get a fantastic audience from all over. So welcome to us. Don't be frightened of adding a comment or two, as long as it's positive and it's nice. We only enjoy nice comments in the kitchen here. Any negativity can go the other way.
Yes.
Don't have negativity, do we?
No.
So it's a very casual kitchen. It's my own personal kitchen here in my own home, and it's all about being chilled out, relaxed and enjoying ourselves. So hopefully you've got a cup of tea, you sat back, you're comfy, and your phone is charged up. I'm going to hand you over to Sue.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Right. Well, just before I start, a little bit about myself. I mean, I have been doing cakes for about 12 years now, and it might not have been cakes. It could have been aromatherapy. It could have been photography. But there was a local college course down the road from me, and I joined that. It was a 10-week course, and I was really lucky because it was with Karen Davies. So she originally taught me, And then I continued with that, and then I set up my website, then I was demonstrating, and then I've started travelling. I've done a couple of competitions, a couple of magazine articles, but I have been following Carol on the Nifty Nozzles, and like I said, like she said, some of the comments were, was that sugar paste they were using, was that flour paste they were using, and through the experience that I've had, I realised that if you don't use the right paste for the right tools, it's not going to work. So I just thought if I do a basic sort of rundown of all the different pastes and what they're best for, at the end of the day it's your choice which brand you use, whether you add Tylo or not Tylo, but if I just give you the basics. So the first thing is the sugar paste. Now I've put in brackets fondant because fondant is the American name for sugar paste. Sugar paste is usually just for covering the cakes. The reason for that is because it is soft, it will skin over, so when you cover your cake and leave it overnight, it will have a slight skin, but it won't go hard. Now because of that, it's quite heavy as well. So,
We lost your words, Sue.
yeah.
Do you want another drink of water?
I think I need some coffee or something. So because it's so heavy, you can't really model with it. If you imagine a great big lump of sugar paste making a snowman, and you put another lump on the top, it's just going to sag down. So you do need some strength into it. I mean, the different sugar paste, you can get roll-out icing, you can get Renshaw, which is already pre-coloured. If you wanted to lighten it slightly, you just add a bit of the white Renshaw. If you haven't tried Renshaw, you can, oh no, that's the modelling, isn't it? There's another one. Have you got the white?
I didn't bring the white with me, I just put the colour ones today.
So you can use your normal white sugar paste to cover your cakes or colour it yourself. So that's basically sugar paste as it is. Now the next one I want to cover is actually modelling paste. Let's get rid of that one. Now the modelling paste, you can buy modelling paste already pre-done, so you get the things like Renshaw, but it's actually called flour and modelling paste. And again, you can get in different colours. You can get Sanstino, which has got cocoa butter in. You've got Cake Star. Basically what this is, it's a slightly firmer version of sugar paste, which you can make your own modelling paste. You can have your modelling paste and you add Tylo powder to it. You can add CMC to it, or you can add something called gum tragacanth. And I will go through the differences of that in later on. The Tylo powder I use a lot. It's fairly cheap to buy, to be honest. You put a teaspoon of that in 250 grams worth of sugar paste and you knead it, and you've got instant modelling paste. It does dry harder than sugar paste. It's got an elastic feel to it, so you can work with it. You can do your characters, you can do modelling, you can even do stand-up modelling as well.
You need to keep it in there.
Yes, you do need to keep it covered up. With all sugar paste, don't wrap it in cling film because it will breathe. But if you can put it in a plastic bag and just wrap it up, it will, as long as you don't get the air to it, it won't dry. So that's the modelling paste. The next one I'm going to cover is the flour paste. I mean, you can also get, going back to the modelling, you can get the chocolate one, and that tastes fabulous. I don't do an awful lot of work with modelling chocolate. It's just one of these, I don't tend to touch chocolate unless it's already pre-done. Yeah, I've put chocolate in the microwave before now and it's burnt and it stinks the house out.
We've got a nice white and a chocolate brown.
But yes, you got the white chocolate modelling and the brown chocolate modelling. So they're great for modelling everything as well. Now, as the next one states, flour paste, to be honest, is full flours. You know,
they're saying just relax, they won't bite. Just relax, Sue, because I know you've gone
I
nervous.
could do with the coffee.
Do you want us to stick the coffee on? Right, okay.
Really
I'll stick the coffee on. Okay.
Yeah.
You just relax. They're all just saying, just relax. Don't be nervous. They're a really friendly bunch. You just go and
I'm
enjoy
going to go 200
yourself.
miles an hour. Right, just
Slow
going back
down, take your time.
So we're back on flour paste.
We're back on, sorry, no, going back
Oh,
to
we're back to
modelling
modelling
paste.
paste,
Just
okay.
forgot the key thing for modelling paste. And I've been doing this quite a while now, and I find I used to add Tyler powder, and I have bought Renshaw's pre-coloured and things like that. But one of the best that I use personally is actually Karen Davis's Sugarpaste, because I don't have to add Tyler. I colour it, and it's a fab.
Sorry, you're going to have to shout now because the kettle's on and it's loud.
Yeah, I'm getting a coffee. Can I have 2 sugars and milk?
Yeah.
And she has 2 flavours. One's marshmallow and one's vanilla.
And if you're on a diet, buy vanilla because it's gorgeous. But if you buy marshmallow, you'll never use it, you'll just scoff it.
Marshmallow, yeah, I must
It's
admit, I do
delightful.
prefer the marshmallow. And the difference is, it's soft and it's pliable, but it's also elastic, elasticity to it. So when you use it, it's perfect for moulds. And it doesn't matter what mould you use, it goes in all of Karen's moulds, or a case of Sue mould, any mould that I've got, I will always use this paste, because I know with a little bit of corn flour, putting the paste in, it comes out straight away. And it tastes fabulous. And don't forget to cover it with a plastic bag. Right, so going on to the flour paste. The flour paste is stronger even still. And basically, it's got, just thinking of the ingredients now, you can roll it out really, really thin. You can't roll out sugar paste thin. You can with modelling paste, but flour paste you can get extra thin, sort of paper thin, and then you can get really, really pretty petals and leaves and things like that. So anything to do with flowers, my flour paste comes out. Okay?
Can you just mention what brand the
Yes.
marshmallow paste was? That was Karen
The
Davies.
marshmallow is Karen Davis.
It's amazing.
Absolutely fabulous. The flour pastes, you get all of Squire's Kitchens, you've got, I mean, Renshaw do the flour and modelling paste, but I do find that sometimes, depending on the humidity, it can allow moisture in. So I tend to, if I'm doing a big wedding cake with lots of wired flowers, I'll go the extra mile and get the Squires, and I know it's not going to let any moisture in at all. Any questions so far on the paste? Before I grab my coffee.
The feed runs about 30 seconds behind, so
That's
don't worry.
fine.
Sometimes
Has everybody gone now?
No. We've got
How to get rid of the whole audience?
We've got a very
in 10 minutes.
We've got a very good audience.
Do let them know you are going to be showing them things in a
Oh,
minute.
absolutely. I'm going to go and show Patchwork cutters, Karen Davis. I'm going to show how to make a bow, a butterfly. I'm going to show some painting techniques for flooding.
Show them that lovely egg that you're going to make.
It didn't really survive the journey. Oops. So later, in about 5 minutes, I'm going to start.
Just put it on the royal icing.
So I'm going to show how
Thank
to
you.
do the
Perfect.
butterfly and the rabbit and chick and the little Peter Rabbit, because Peter Rabbit is really, really in at the moment. You got any royal icing?
I have, yeah. I'll put that coffee on the end for you.
Thank you.
I'll
Now,
put it
the royal icing. You can cover cakes with royal icing, and that's great. I've never done it. Because in this day and age, a lot of people tend to go for the sugar paste cakes. But the royal icing is really handy for when you're doing, if you've got something dry and you need to put it on top, on your cake at the side or something like that, it needs to, sugar glue isn't strong enough. You need to put royal icing onto it to stick to the side of the cake. It's great for pipe work, extension work. You can do run-outs with it. You can add a little bit more water and make it more sort of runny. And that's royal icing is the one that's made with egg whites. Now, if you don't want to use the egg whites, most people use the Merry White as a substitute. And what I find with royal icing, if you are going down to, and you're doing some pipe work, and you're going down to a fine nozzle, always use your palette knife and palette out any air bubbles. So that's the royal icing. Now I'm just going to do a quick one on the differences here. And I mentioned before, have we got the gum track? No, we haven't got a gum track. Basically, there are 3 white powders that people talk about. You've got the CMC, you've got the Tylo powder, and you've got the gum tragacanth, which I can't really say. So usually people say gum trag, so that's what I'm going to use from now on. And all it is it's a, how could I read it? It's a chemical version. There's CMC and Tylos are chemical versions of the natural product of gum trag, and that's basically what it is. You can buy gum trag in great big boxes, sort of tubs, and they're about £70. So you tend to buy them in smaller tubs and just use it as you need. Tylo powder is for the modelling, and you can use a tiny little bit for sugar glue. If you're making your sugar glue, I made this earlier. I should have made it last night and I forgot. So I made this morning, and basically all I've done is added water and Tylo powder, and it makes perfect glue. And all I've done is added that, oh, probably not that much, that amount into the water, put it into the water and shake it. And what you'll find is there'll be a big globule of glue. Leave it usually for a few hours or overnight, and then you've got a perfect consistency for sugar glue. Right, what's next? Okay. Now, I'm going to now introduce you to another paste. You might not have heard of it, some might, some won't. And you think, what on earth am I talking about? And it is Mexican paste. Now, when I first started, that's how I was introduced to when using patchwork cutters. Basically, Mexican paste is icing sugar with gum tragacanth and water, and you mix it all together. Oh look, we've got some royal icing. So if you didn't want to use make your own royal icing, it comes already pre-done in a tub. It's absolutely brilliant stuff. You just take a little bit out at a time and just paddle it, put it in your piping bag, and just use it when you need it, and just put the top back on, and that's great. But going back to the Mexican paste is brilliant for things like 3D. So if you are doing stand-up numbers, or you're doing a handbag and shoes, it dries really hard. It dries really quickly. So because of that, you do have to work quite fast. So if you've got, I don't know, you're making 20 items to go on the side of a cake, you might have to do them in smaller batches because Mexican paste dries that quick. The other thing is, this is perfect paste for patchwork cutters. You can use the Renshaw flour and modelling paste for patchwork colour.
Marion uses that one all the time.
And that's fine. But if you haven't got any of that in, Mexican paste is what I use. So I'm actually going to tonight show you how to make Mexican paste.
Thank goodness for that, because we've got none for sale.
And look, ta-da! I have the recipe. Okay, so if
They're saying that
afterwards,
you're doing very well, Sue.
yeah, I haven't had my coffee yet, but never mind. The Mexican paste. Oh, you see, you interrupted me now. My train of thought's gone.
I need to just ask you something. Helen Mills says she's confused. You mentioned Karen Davies sugar paste when talking about modelling. So what she needs to understand that Karen Davies sugar paste is different from normal roll-out icing.
It is, to be honest.
So that's what you need to tell her. That's where the confusion's
Okay, I do apologise. It's because of the name sugar paste, isn't it? And the thing is, what's in Karen's sugar paste makes it more stretchy. rather than sugar paste which doesn't stretch. And this, to be honest, I don't know why she doesn't call it modelling paste, but she'll probably tell
Because
you.
it's perfect for a mould.
You can use Karen's paste for covering cakes, and I have done before now, but it's perfect for her moulds because it's got a little bit more strength to it. That's all it is. It's got more stretch, and that's why I use it for modelling. So in a way, maybe from now on we'll call it Karen Davis Sugar Paste Stroke Modelling.
Yeah, because that's what it is really, isn't it?
That's what that's.
To be fair, Karen told me that if you roll out a cake with it, it's a bit firmer. You'll need to take your time with it. You've got to really knead it well.
Okay.
If you want to do a cake with it. So I've been asked a question,
Okay.
and the question is, what is the difference with just flour paste and flour and modelling paste?
To be honest, because of it's the brand. I think it's the ingredients. That's what the difference is. This is stronger. To be honest, I think this has probably got more kind of gum trag in it, because this does dry slightly quicker than this.
Yeah, it does dry.
I do find, although it does say flour and modelling paste, it does sometimes allow moisture in it. Because, and I'll tell you why. I remember doing a cake, and it was a load of dahlias around it, and they were perfectly dry. And I'd used Renshaw flour and modelling paste, and the humidity that day was horrendous. So by the time the person came to pick it up, my flowers had actually wilted. It looked okay, it was absolutely fine, they didn't notice any problem at all. So maybe sort of a stronger version of just flour paste. It's confusing even now which one to use.
I think it's all down to personal
It
choice.
is down to personal choice.
I think the best thing to remember is if you're making flowers and things that are very thin and delicate, it has to be the flour modelling paste or the flour paste from Squires.
Definitely.
It has to be. Do not try to make it with sugar paste, modelling paste, chocolate, Saraceno modelling paste.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
I mean, people have tried the FMM tappets just with sugar paste, and it's too soft.
Yeah.
You put sugar paste in the moulds, and it's too soft. It doesn't hold the shape. It sticks to it. There was a question from, I don't know who the lady was, and she was making some Easter chicks, and it was a disc to go on top. Funny enough, a cupcake similar to
I'll
this.
tell you who it is, yep. So Caroline Hickworth, it was, let me just see. Her question was, and we'll put it up on the thing for you. There's a message. So just while we're asking that question, while I'm looking for Caroline's message, somebody says, does Mexican paste taste good?
I don't know, try it.
Then the next thing is, somebody's asked, where can you buy all these things? Everything we're talking about tonight you can buy on our website. So on our website, www.sugarandcrumbs.co.uk. So there you go.
Yeah, that'll do.
And somebody's asked where Maria is. And Maria's in the kitchen. She's not filming anything yet because Sue isn't demoing just yet. Not doing a demo just yet. She's talking at the moment. So the question that
should be here in a minute.
there's the question that Caroline asked. Can you see, or are you nervous?
No, the question was, it was to do with the Easter chick.
What taste this?
Yeah, I made that yesterday. I don't know what it tastes like. She's just trying my Mexican paste. I did wash my hands when I made it.
Doesn't really taste of anything, does it?
Icing sugar probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, just sweet.
It's not sweet though.
It's not sweet.
No.
Basically, do you want me to read the question out?
I think somebody was asking you about it.
Okay, the question is, hi Carol, I'll see you Monday night.
Not that
Caroline
one.
Hickworth.
Oh, right. When you try the marshmallow one, which is probably the Karen Davis, it's too soft and won't keep the circle shape, and you don't want to add Tylo.
I'll show you what she's on.
Well, you've got two choices.
Let me just show you.
What I tend to do,
Let me just show you. Is that under the camera? Can you see that picture there? So what Caroline was asking is, she wants to make this cake topper, and this cake topper is flat. And when she makes it herself, it goes soft and floppy, and she wants to keep it flat. So Sue's going to explain how to make that and keep it flat using the Karen Davies paste.
Right, well, there's two things you've got to remember. When you're actually making it, if you just make your normal disc shape, always put it on. I've got a foam pad. We've got some FMM red ones for sale here, and just make sure you dry your discs. I would say overnight. What you also find is the discs, you need to turn them over so they dry both sides. Now, depending on how long the disc is going to be on the cake for, depends whether the buttercream is going to seep into the paste as well, because the oils in the buttercream will start eating into the disc, so it might flop. So I would make sure that you put your discs on your cupcakes last minute before you deliver to the customer, and you should be okay. The only other thing you can do, funny enough, you can cut out some Mexican paste and have a disc underneath to protect it, and that won't get attacked by the buttercream. Or you can put a little bit of melted chocolate on the top of the buttercream just to lift it up, so you've got your buttercream, your chocolate, and then the disc, and then the buttercream won't get into contact with the disc and make it soft. But it should be okay. I've done it before where I've done it and left it completely overnight. If you can leave it for longer, then that should dry fine. So hopefully that's answered your question.
So Dale Clark says, which one is best for very high humidity? When he goes to South Africa, everything flops.
Okay, it has to be, you're going to have to try different ones because of the amount of humidity. Personally, I would definitely try the Squires.
Stay in the air conditioning unit, don't go outside.
Yeah, stick with the Squires. You can, going back to Mexican paste, you can work with Mexican paste, but you've got to work really, really fast. I wouldn't necessarily make flowers out of Mexican, but I have done it before. It's just that because it dries and cracks so quickly, I would probably go for the Squires and see how you get on. So send me a message or send Carol a message and see how you get on over there.
And then somebody says, can you repeat the recipe for the Mexican sugar paste? I mean, you're going to make that yourself later anyhow. So we'll talk about Mexican sugar paste.
It's back on screen now.
Right, okay, so Mexican paste. If you can't find the link that Carol will probably put on, and you can't remember these ingredients, if you have any patchwork cutters in your box, then it always has the recipe on it. Guaranteed it's on it. Here she says. Is this mine or your? Oh, it's all come out. So on here, so if you want the recipe, it's on, this particular patchwork cutter is on at the bottom. Okay? And basically it is 8 ounces of icing sugar, 3 level teaspoons of gum tragadan.
Oh, does she put that on every
single one.
Oh, right.
Because
so all you guys who've got patchwork cutters, the recipe's on there at the bottom.
Yep.
Oh, get Marion.
And that's because this was before pre-Renshaw modelling and flour paste. So before we had the flour paste, that's all we ever used, Mexican paste. And I was brought up to sort of use Mexican, and that's why I always use it. Unless I'm doing the silhouettes, because obviously colouring it black is going to change the consistency. But it's 8 ounces of icing sugar, 3 level teaspoons of gum tragadan, and 6 teaspoons of water, and that's all there is to it. You knead it, you place it in a plastic bag, but you do need to leave it. I usually leave it overnight, and then it's perfect to use. It does not allow humidity into it. I actually did a competition cake for the NEC, a couple of years ago, very stressful, and I used flour paste or with flour modelling, and the humidity just made it all flop. I should have used Mexican paste and I would have been fine. Anyway, that's the end of all my little sheets.
Well, just a question. Barbara Haslam says, how do you keep it fresh and usable after you've opened them? Thanks.
Right.
And Marion gave us a great tip for when it goes hard.
What did she say?
So she said that if your sugar paste has gone hard, put it in an airtight container with half a lemon overnight.
I've heard about the half a lemon trick and I've never tried it.
She said it definitely works. But otherwise, apart from that, how else would you keep it nice and fresh?
Are we talking sugar paste?
Yeah.
Just, you've got to make sure that you wrap it up tight in bags, and that's all you can do.
And there's a good point there. Making the Mexican paste, you make it with icing sugar. So if you want it to taste nice, then use our flavoured icing sugar.
Of course.
Yeah.
I know.
That was Maria. That. Well done, Maria. Get brownie points.
I did think about that actually.
She's after a pay rise. It's not happening.
Right. So it can get a little bit messy. Now, believe it or not, this is gum trag or gum tragacanth. There you go.
Richard Crompton says nobody likes it when it goes floppy.
No, that's right.
It's
nice when it's all hard, isn't it?
It?
Right, okay, moving on, we need 3 teaspoons of gum trag.
It went over your head, that, didn't it?
No, because I said we all like it hard. But then I moved quickly on, Carol, so stop laughing. I'm making Mexican paste, everybody that's watching me tonight. Okay. Now, before you ask, no, you can't use CMC, and no, you can't use Tylos. It has to be gum trag for it to work properly. Now, just while I remember, Squires do a packet, and it is called Mexican. It's not this one. I don't know how they get away with it, but it's not the true Mexican. But anyway, so 3 level teaspoons of gum trag. I really just had enough of this actually. Panicked yesterday, I didn't have any in.
Cracky, we've got diamond paste here. What's diamond paste?
Diamond paste, platinum paste.
Deb's here with diamond paste. Anyhow, so.
Okay, 3 level teaspoons. I've already weighed 8 ounces of icing sugar.
And I have to agree with Deb. Deb says she never knew it was on the packet, and neither did we.
There you go, you learned
And we
something
sell
new.
the stuff, and Marion's never said a word.
Well, the thing is, it's so easy to go out and buy Renshaw, isn't it?
I know,
I must admit, I do get very, very lazy sometimes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the reason why I started damming is because I did a course with Marion, and it was a 3-day accreditation course. It was absolutely fabulous. She worked us really, really hard, and she taught us as much as she could possibly teach us. And because of that, I'm now a fully accredited teacher and demonstrator using patchwork cutters. So a lot of us have these patchwork cutters in our boxes and we don't know how to use them. So that's where I come in. And so I went down to Cardiff a few months ago. I'm hoping to go to Cambridge soon. You know, I've got demos booked, and it's all because Marion can't go to all these demonstrations.
I don't think she wants to anymore.
Well,
she wants to retire.
That's why you need to get in touch with me, and I will come and do classes, workshops, dems, you name it, and I will tailor it to what you want.
Right, let me ask you a question.
Go on.
Margaret Crozier says, why did patchwork cutters take the liquid glucose out of the original recipe?
I don't know.
That's a good question. We'll
I
have to
actually
save that.
don't know.
When Marion's watching us on YouTube tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hopefully she'll answer.
I should know that, but that was probably before my time.
Yeah,
maybe. I would probably, as an educated guess, say it was too elasticated.
Yeah.
It might have allowed. It doesn't need it anymore. Also, she used to add quite a bit of Trex. Now I still add quite a bit of Trex when I'm mixing it, but I don't know about the glucose.
Next question from Gwen Welsh. If you want to colour your Mexican paste, do you add colour when making it, or add once the paste is made?
Once it's made. Right. But I am going to count 6. Now, depending on how is that a teaspoon? Because sometimes when if you fill it with a jug, it can go slightly over. You are better to have it under than over. 3, 4, 5, 6. What's the next question?
No, Gail says she tried the lemon trick in a bag with sugar paste. It did not work. She ended up with a slime mess. But you're not meant to put it in the bag. What Marion says, it needs to be in a container.
Tupperware container.
Yeah. needs to be in a container with the lemon. You don't squeeze the lemon, you just cut a lemon in half. Okay, and you leave it overnight. So don't squeeze lemon juice over it. You just cut a lemon in half, leave it in the container overnight, and that will soften up your very hardened flour modelling paste.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's when you've wrapped flour modelling paste in cling film, which you really shouldn't do. It goes rock hard, and then most people, like myself, have thrown it in the bin.
I must admit, I do tend to throw it if it goes wrong. If it's too hard and crumbly, then I do chuck it, but maybe I should get some lemons in. Now what I'm doing here, I can tell straight away, because I've used it, I've made this dozens of times, and if it's too dry, all you need to do is add a little bit more water. If you put too much water in and it goes too sticky, then you're going to have to add quite a bit more icing sugar. I'd rather add a little bit more water at a time rather than loads of icing sugar and getting it everywhere. And all I'm doing is getting the moisture stuck together. It's a little bit like pastry, if anybody is into pastry.
Sam Foreman has said, how much would you charge for a private tuition? The best thing, Sam, is to message Sue afterwards.
How much am I worth?
Message her, because there's lots of things come into it. How long you want, where you are in the country. So private message Sue, and then you can have a conversation with her. Do it tomorrow, not tonight.
Give me a shout tomorrow, or you know, over the next few days, and we can tailor it to what standard you're at, where you are. Are you going to feed me? I don't eat a lot. You know, little things.
And Deb Bowditch says, can she use a mixer to make the Mexican paste?
No.
Well, her hands are so painful, so what could she use?
I would use a friend, to be perfectly honest.
There you go.
I can usually work out problems for you, but unfortunately if you've got arthritis or painful hands, there's not a lot else you can do, because you can't mix it in a mixer.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the pastry, although you can was that in the food processor. I've never tried it. Maybe it's worth trying. Now all I'm doing here is I don't want to get it too stuck on my hands. I'm pushing it to get all the mixture together, a little bit like pastry, like I said, and hopefully it will all come together. Probably not the best bowl to use. It does get stuck in your nails. Squash it together. Might need a little bit more water.
Sam says she'll definitely give you coffee and cake.
Oh great, I love coffee and cake.
So, Carol Deborah White says, what's best to use with fondant, Tylo or CMC?
You can use either, but what I find is the CMC is slightly weaker than the Tylo, so you do need a bit more CMC. I've always bought the Tylo, so I wouldn't know about the CMC. It's
personal preference, isn't it?
It is personal preference. It depends, you know, which shop sell it. Obviously, Carol is selling it as well. I just find that Tylo is really cheap. I make it with the glue. Right, now this is getting a bit sticky. I was probably a bit heavy-handed, but that's probably a good thing, because then you can see that it happens to me as well. You know. Right, now, see what a mess I'm in here.
Don't worry, I've got the top on for you.
Fine, don't worry. Now, have we all heard of Trex?
Yeah.
I was expecting a response then. Trex is a white vegetable fat which we use for working with flour paste, working with patchwork cutters. When we're making flowers, we all use Trex. If you're over in the States, you use Crisco. The only thing you don't tend to use is don't go for the animal fat lard. Okay, you can use petal base if you wish, but to be honest, your local supermarket sells Trex. Unless of course you're in Ireland, they don't tend to sell it in Ireland, but I do know friends of ours that go with bootfuls of Trex. Thank you. So you can see it all coming together. It probably wouldn't have taken this long if I was not.
If you stop talking.
If I'd stopped talking, I don't usually do it in front of people. I've never made Mexican paste in front of anybody before.
I
so
like
there
the
you go.
idea you can use
Look.
our sugars. You know when I said it doesn't taste too much?
I
Without
know.
sugars it'll taste amazing.
It's really,
Especially
really
white
soft.
chocolate and raspberry.
So when you get that to a really good, like, it looks like paste, okay? I tend to, I don't know, it's habit. I roll it into a sausage and I double bag it. And that's all I do. Now, because of the gum trag, it's going to take, like I say, minimum of 4 hours for it to activate. I tend to leave it overnight. Now, the good thing is that you can freeze this. So if you're doing a little bit of patchwork cutters and you only need a little bit, leave it overnight and then cut it into half or quarters, double bag it again and put it in the freezer. And then when you need a little bit, just take a bit out to defrost. Do not put this in the fridge. It doesn't like the fridge. And the only other thing is that, unfortunately, it does need a little bit of TLC. Every few days you will have to need it. If you don't need it every few days, then it kind of goes a bit like stodgy and gets like gooey bits on it. You don't want that. So the best thing is, if you know you're not going to use it, put it straight into your freezer. If you need to colour it, just break a bit off and colour it normally like you would with sugar paste. And that's it. Thank you. Might have to go and
use the sink.
yeah. Yeah, it does get covered. But it's worth doing. Now, when you leave it overnight, don't be worried because it will come out as a brick. Okay?
We've got several ladies
look.
who are going to use our sugars.
This is the Mexican paste. And you think, oh no, that's Sue Pinnick from Yummy Cakes by Sue. She told me to make this and it's rock hard. I can't make anything with that. But you can. That's how it's supposed to be. And when you break a little bit off and then you work it, and like all the paste, you've got to work it a bit.
Well, that's the other thing as well. When you get modelling paste, when I got the modelling paste, I thought, crikey, this is rock hard.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with this?
Right, okay.
Oh yeah, I must admit, I do sneak mine in the microwave for 5 seconds.
I must admit, yes, I do use a certain brand of paste, and I pop it in the microwave for about 10 to 20 seconds, and it softens it up.
Softens it up, yeah.
So for the lady with the hands, you know, if it's hard to knead, then can I go on?
Yeah, wash your
Can I
hands.
go wash my hands?
Yeah, yeah. So just wash your hands for 1 minute. So does anybody want to ask any questions and we can answer them 1 minute while Sue washes her hands? So we are going to start demoing in a minute and then Sue can talk a little bit more about the sugar paste when she's using the moulds and the patchwork cutters and making your...
I'm going to make loads in a minute. When I get going, I'm going to make loads.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So, this Mexican paste, I said about it being really, really hard. Okay, all you do is you break a little bit off here, okay, and just start kneading it. And just soften it up, and it's perfect to use. And that's about it. So, that's your Mexican paste.
And you just pulled a bit off and softened it.
Pulled a
Sorry,
bit
I
off.
missed that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pulled a bit off, Carol, and just kneaded it.
I was too busy reading questions.
It's alright, that's fine. Right, okay. So, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to use, funny enough, Karen Davis's sugar paste, straight modelling paste, because I'm going to use 2 of her moulds, which are absolutely fabulous. And it's the hydrangea border. I do all sorts of cakes. I do christening cakes, wedding cakes, birthday cakes, you name it. And you know what? Yes, some of them take longer than others and some of them will be more expensive. But if I've got a really effective border on it, you can charge more because it looks fab. Now this one here is the hydrangea, and it fits all the way around the cake, and then you've got cupcakes to match. So I'm not going to make loads, I'm just going to make one, colour it, pop it on the cake, and then you can see how it works. Now, I have already pre-coloured my Karen Davis sugar paste. If you haven't got that, like I said, going back, you can add your Tyler powder, Or, just to confuse you all, you can have half sugar paste and half flour paste. You know, I mean, you know, whatever works for you. But you know what? I can't be bothered because I love my marshmallow.
Yeah.
And then when I'm making teddy bears around the whole cake, or I'm doing the cupcakes, then it's great. I've used marshmallow icing and it tastes fabulous.
So let me just answer your question. Deb Bowditch has just said, Karen Davies has just brought 4 new moulds out.
They
She's
are
released them.
fabulous.
They are on the website but have no images. I'm waiting for Karen to send them over.
They're lovely.
But they are on the website and they are beautiful. They're in stock. And Maria's coming round now. See, the demo started, so Maria sneaked in.
Who's this here? Hi.
They were worried about her where she was.
So, let the done begin. Right, probably gone slightly over with the talking. Now, when Karen on her mould says that use 28 grams of paste or 22 grams of paste, just do what it says because she's already weighed it and it does work.
Let me just ask a question. Can you refreeze the Mexican modelling paste more than once? So
I
you
wouldn't.
So you'd be best off breaking it up into portions.
Yes, I would do it into quarters. And then just take out that quarter that you need, but I wouldn't refreeze. Now, the border is 22 grams and the, 28 grams and the other one is 22. So I'm just going to measure 28 grams of paste because I would think there was a load that goes in there, but actually it's not bad. That's 27, I don't need that much.
And they're all laughing that Maria's arrived, so they're all saying, hello Maria. Robert Allen has said, Maria's dying to get started.
I know.
She hasn't done anything for the first hour. So the Karen Davies molds, guys, I've got no pictures. I can't even take them off Google because they're not even on Google yet. I have emailed Karen for the images and they'll be over tomorrow. So if you want to go and have a look on her site and then come back to mine, you can, or buy off Karen's, it's entirely up to you. But there's 4 beautiful moulds. There's a gorgeous grass one with loads of extra bits of flowers, all sorts of things on it. That's probably my favourite. There's
knitted cable, chunky cable,
chunky knit.
yeah.
No, it's chunky rib, chunky knit, and there's a crochet one. That's it. And they're beautiful. The big cable came out last year, didn't it?
Did I do 22 or 28?
22.
Right. So when Karen says
22,
do 28, measure 28, don't do 22 because that's for the cupcake.
22 what? I've missed that.
You did 27, you took a bit off.
Yeah, no, I did 2 less.
How do you mean 27?
Yeah, I didn't actually weigh enough.
Well, you're not.
Oh,
you did it.
So
Crumbs.
I purposely did that because Carol was talking. And so this is how not to do it.
I
So
don't even weigh it. I just rip it off, put it in.
Oh, it wasn't actually, yeah, it was 22 I did. But it doesn't matter if it's a little bit more. So all I've done is put some corn flour into the mould, tap out the excess, and always with any mould start off with a smooth ball without any cracks in it, because otherwise you're going to see the cracks when it comes out of the mould. So hopefully I can get it nice and smooth.
Right, the little weighing scales. Did you get yours off Georgie?
I got these off Georgie Godbold.
Right, so Georgie Godbold, you'll need to message her on Facebook,
Yeah.
okay? She's the Wobbly Gobblies. So if you message Georgie Godbold, she will sell you the scales. They're £10. I don't know how much postage she charges. Or you can get very similar on Amazon. And either way, I can give you a link for both ladies. If you best message me later, I'll respond to you tomorrow and tell you where you can get them from. That's for the mini scales.
It's the only time I use them. Now, this time I have purposely used too much paste, because if you haven't got the scales and you think you've got too much, there's 2 ways you can do it. I tend to press down with my palm just to make sure that I get it all in there, but make sure with any moulds it doesn't go over the edge, because otherwise you will get a lip. So just go over gently with your finger just to get a clean cut. Now you can either use it with your thumb to take it off, or a little palette knife, something like that, and just make sure you pull it back. And then all you do is you tip it out and you've got your hydrangeas. That's gone slightly, and then you can colour it. And I'm going to do exactly the same for the cupcake. measure out. Was it 22?
22, yeah.
Should we try 22 on this one? It is me saying, whatever she says, do what she says. Because when they don't, it doesn't work. The thing is, I don't use grams. I'm an ounces girl.
Me too.
Yeah, I haven't got a clue what 22 grams is. So knead the paste, make sure it's smooth, roll it into a ball and no cracks. If you think you see some cracks, someone said instead of going it clockwise, turn it anti-clockwise and press sort of a little bit firmly and it should get rid of any cracks. So I tend to squash it a little bit, give it a little bit of a smooth and put it straight in. Now if you have sticky hands, now this kitchen has got quite hot, if your hands are too sticky and it lifts up the paste, always put your fingers in your corn flour. You do not want it being lifted up.
So just let me go back over the scales again. The scales are off Georgie Godbold. Godbold, I know.
The wobbly lady, Georgie Godbold.
Yeah, the sugar wobblies. And she will sell them to you. Private messenger, she'll come back to you. Or I can give you a link for some on Amazon. So all you need to do is send me a message and I'll respond tomorrow. I've just messaged Karen Davies to see if she can get those images over to me for the new moulds. So hopefully I'll be able to get them on while we're talking. That's if she's answering her phone tonight.
Right, so I'm just going to colour these with some dust colours, just to highlight it slightly. I've got just a pink here. I'll move it into view, and a yellow for the centre.
Somebody just said the jewellery scales are good, but that's what they are, they're jewellery scales. They're not actually, these scales aren't for Sugarpaste, they are jewellery scales.
Right, well, I've been told slightly differently, because it's something like 2/100th of a gram or something like that. And I believe there's a job out there to do with drugs or something.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know. So
I wasn't going to talk about extracurricular activities.
Can we delete that bit? So all I've got a little bit of dry.
Melanie Grant is a Grams girl. I'm not saying any more, Melanie.
So I'm just using a flat brush with some dust colours just to touch the edge, and it just gives a 3-dimension.
It's a beautiful mould, those two.
It is gorgeous. To be honest,
that round one was the first one I ever bought of Karen Davies moulds.
Mine was a teddy bear, and I use a teddy bear a lot. And if you want, just go in slightly and just catch some of the petals. I'll do this quite quickly, and then I can move on to the next. Because you want to see me do the Mexican paste and patchwork cutters.
It's jumping.
Oh, no, it's Sue's hand.
Sorry, don't worry.
Don't worry.
Technical.
I've tried to zoom in, but it's zooming in your hand and it's losing focus.
Do it one-handed.
It's okay.
It's fine.
No, it looks good.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just using these dry. I'm very quickly. I'm just going to dab a little bit of yellow into the centres.
Robert Allen has put the scales up that are on Amazon with postage if you can't get hold of Georgie. So the link is on our feed. If you go through the feed, Robert Allen's just put it up. And to be fair, I've got scales off both. I've got them off Amazon and off Georgie. They're great. The only thing with Georgie's, have you ever done this? I haven't done it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to say, aren't
Yeah.
you? I couldn't believe it. I was at a Renshaw class the other week, and the amount of ladies there that said their scales didn't work. Go on, show them. Have
It's
you got the
because
lid?
I don't know whether I've got the lid somewhere. Yeah, it's got a
Comes
lid.
with a black
I've
lid.
taken the lid off somewhere.
And everybody just put them on top of the lid and said their scales didn't work. So do remember, if you buy them off Georgie, take the lid off.
Oh, there it is. Right, it comes with this. Okay.
Straight on the lid.
So, fine, put it on. And it comes with a leather sleeve. So it comes with this lid here. And the thing is, if you don't take it off, it's not going to work, is it?
No. I think the thing is, because you see the display, people are fooled and think that you just put it straight on the black bit, don't they? Not realising.
Right, so with the cupcake, all I'm doing is getting some buttercream. I'm only going to just put a little bit on. because you will take more time.
Ooh, lots of places. Cat Riley's got Eston Blumenthal ones. Di Wheeler got hers from Asda.
And then pop your hydrangea over the top, and that will match the cake.
And somebody's just asked what powders you're using. You're using the Colour Splash Dust.
That's right. So that one was the blush, and the other one was the Rainbow Dust Lemon Tart.
Yeah.
Okay, now because this is soft, all you need is a little bit of sugar glue. So all I'm going to do is get my sugar glue on the back, and then it can just go on the side of the cake. You can use water. I'm a sugar glue girl. Again, that's what I'm used to. If you put too much on it, it can slide a little bit. And when you attach them, what you can do, you can, if you turn it around, they kind of interlock as well. Now, I've just realised I think this is going to be too long, because what I've done is I've prepared this earlier and I just left the back to do. So I'm going to see if I can do it upside down. You want me the other side here?
Wait.
Because you said I had to do everything backwards. So I've no idea how this is going to look. Is this going to fit?
So ladies, Karen Davies has just got her daughter to send over the images. How good's that, eh? Their communication. Fantastic, Karen, if you're watching. So Karen and Alice sent them over. So
Thank you, Alice.
Now. Yeah, Alice has just been nudged by Karen.
Okay, so that's the hydrangea mould. And to be honest, I think that looks absolutely gorgeous just on its own with the cupcakes.
Yes, it does.
But I've left the top off because it's Easter, and I'm going to do the patchwork cutters.
Fantastic.
So that's where I get my Mexican paste. Yay. Okay, now the set I'm going to use tonight is the rabbit and chick set. And it comes with all sorts. She doesn't skimp, does Marion, with all her cutters.
No, she usually
In this set you get the rabbit and chick, a sitting rabbit, a standing rabbit. You get two chicks, 2 eggs. You can use whatever. Tonight I'm just going to use the grass and the rabbits, and I'm going to do a piece of rabbit because that's the in thing at the moment. Now, with any patchwork cutters, there is a technique, there is a knack to it, and all it is you trax your board, trax your cutter, and you roll the paste and do not lift. And that's all there is to it.
Yeah, Marion says that.
If you don't use the right paste, and I probably overdosed a little bit on the Trex. I just slap it on my board. I don't wipe a bit off. I'm covered in Trex. I want it to stick. So, okay, so my hand is covered, so I'll just get some kitchen roll. Okay. Now, it is quite hard to start with, but all I'm going to do is just knead it until it's soft. Got my daughter here tonight. Hi Zoe! She's gone shy.
Gone quiet.
I wish she was shy. Right, so that's
Had a lot
fine.
to say before we went live.
Oh yes. Right, so roll the paste and do not lift. Now, what you might find, actually I wanted to do it that way. What was I going to say then? What do you find? Oh yes, is when you do it, if you have jagged edges on your, oh see there's no, right, do you know what? I changed direction, just going to put some more Trex on that bit. So, because it didn't stick to the board, let's start again. Here's me, accredited tutor, and I did it wrong first go.
Well,
Well,
you know what
that's
like
what
that.
not to do. Okay, so roll it out.
If the professionals can muck it up, well, there you go.
Well, it's only because of this one onto my right, and I was going the wrong way.
Don't be blaming Maria now.
Now, if you have a jagged edge, like I was saying, it's because your paste is too thick. It does need to be almost paper thin. Okay, see how thin that's, well, it's probably still quite thick. And the rule of thumb with any of the cutters is the smaller the cutter, the more detailed, the more tricks you need. So I've just got some on my hand and I'm just going to rub it all over. You can't taste this, but what you don't want is it sticking into your cutter. So I'm just going to press it firmly all the way around the edge. Okay, now if you can't pull it up because you've got greasy hands, just flick it up and that should be fine. Some more tracks on. And again, if your kitchen's really, really hot and sticky, that doesn't help.
Yeah, I know it's always hot in here. Do you want the window open?
No.
You okay?
Yeah. Because if it sticks, then you know that it doesn't always work with me either. I sometimes wonder why I do cakes sometimes, you know.
I'm going to pass over the questions to John because I'm just uploading the images that Karen and Alice have just sent over.
Now, if you just gently put your finger on, and all you do is you pull the paste away, and the actual cutout is stuck onto the board by the tracks. Now, if you can't, you can use a scriber, or a pin, or a cocktail stick, something like that. Place your finger over the top and just pull it away. Can you see what I'm doing on there?
Yep. Okay, thank you.
It won't matter too much if you don't get every blade of grass out, because we're only going to colour it green anyway. Just pull it away. See, that's quite jagged there. That's because the paste is a little bit thick in that area. But there you go.
Well, it's good to know that when it is a bit thick, it still works.
And that's what are the new moulds?
Right, the new moulds are, I'm going to send pictures of them up in a minute, but it's the chunky rib, the new crochet mould, the wild life one, yeah. Just can't remember what it's called then. So I will have them here on Thursday. They are in the warehouse. They are in the warehouse. You can order them tonight. They'll be dispatched tomorrow, but I didn't bring any home.
Right, okay, so I'm going to colour the grass. I tend to find with this one is if you use luster dusts, they're a little bit more forgiving than the matte. So if you go for like a pearlised colour, like a shiny green for the grass, then you can just quickly colour that, and you don't have to worry too much about the detail. That's what I mean. Let's get some more on there. See, there's some grass there that I could pull out, or I might just leave. If I colour it green, nobody will know that's not supposed to be there, apart from Marion and me. And everybody that's watching.
Yeah. Feel free to sit down if it's more comfy.
Ooh, yeah, no.
That's what the chair's
My chair's got stuff on. I'm alright.
You've got two chairs there.
Which green colour are you using?
Now this one is the lime. It's just the pearl dust. If you've got something like spring green or anything like that, as long as it's shimmery.
You can use that chair if you want.
Okay.
I think it's better if you sit down.
Okay. Okay, so that's the grass coloured, and then I've got like a cappuccino for the rabbits. I'll put that there now. And this is the cappuccino shimmer. Oh, I've missed some grass there. Where's my green? Can I use the excuse that it's upside down to me?
Yeah, we must explain that as well. Guys, it's a little bit harder for Sue as well because we asked her to do it upside down to her so that you could actually see what she was doing.
That's right. Okay, now that's
It's a bit hard to try and think about what you're doing then, isn't it?
Take that bit away.
Question, is that a laminated mat?
It is a laminated mat. You can have any paper underneath, and it's brilliant because of the tracks, it sticks to it. Okay, so it doesn't come off and it holds its shape. And then when you're finished with it, you can just wipe it away with a wet wipe or put it in the sink and give it a wash. Right, I'm going to try and speed up now because otherwise I'm not going to get half of what I want done.
Don't worry.
Okay, so a little bit of black for the eyes and a really fine paintbrush. And you can use vodka or water, but I do tend to use isopropyl alcohol. The reason being is because I drink the vodka and water takes too long to dry. So hey ho, use your isopropyl alcohol. It dries really quick.
Well, there's a lot of people who can't use alcohol as well.
Yeah, well you can use lemon, yeah, for religious reasons, that's absolutely fine, but at the end of the day it does completely evaporate, so actually there's no alcohol left on it at all.
They don't care.
They don't
If they don't want alcohol, they're not going to use it. But you can do, like you said, you can use lemon juice, can't you?
You can use your lemon extract, that's fine.
Yeah.
Right, so do you know what I haven't done? I haven't coloured the flowers. I've got a nice pale pink. Oh, okay, I'm just using a blush. You could probably do with maybe a slightly paler pink than this, but just for timing issues, I'll just do a little bit of pink on the flowers. Because I just want to show you how it's done. And then you can go through and do the yellow for the centres, and that's fine. But the reason why I'm doing Mexican paste, I do want to stand it up. And what I've done is I've already covered a board with green paste. It's just normal green sugar paste, and I've actually put a little bit of a hole in the middle. And that's where I'm going to put an Easter egg. So, now I know this might sound daft, Carol, but it does make a difference what egg you get. And the reason why I say that is because some eggs are stuck together and some eggs aren't stuck together. And you want the ones that are stuck together.
Right.
Otherwise you're going to have to stick them together. Okay, right. Here's what I mean.
How are you supposed to find that out?
Well, you have to do market research. I remember one year I bought about 10 different eggs. Right, now, this particular make, see here, the actual lines are all stuck together.
You can tell them which make
Yeah.
it is. We don't care.
Well, I don't know.
No one's paying us for it anyhow.
Right, so I need my royal icing. Okay, so get your royal icing. Oops. That in.
Perfect, thank you.
Put that in the thing, in the middle, and then place your chocolate egg in the centre. Actually, I probably could have done that after I've done the edge. And until it dries, you might need to keep knocking it until it dries, standing up. Now, these edges, all we're going to do now is glue them to the actual side of the board. Shall I get rid of that? Turn them over, and again glue water or vodka. Just make sure you get the very bottom edge. Now if this paste is too floppy, you worked extra quick and it's not holding its shape, then you can leave it for a few minutes to dry a little bit more, but I think this is going to be enough. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to the other side, sorry. Because I said, because they want me to do it backwards. And all I'm going to do is place it onto that board there at the bottom. Okay. Now if you find your rabbits are flopping a bit and they're going in, just push them out, use some kitchen rolls.
That's
something
great,
like that.
isn't it?
Yeah.
With that.
Okay. Oh, I've already glued that one.
That's absolutely beautiful.
You can overlap. This is a 6-inch board. And you need about 3 and a bit cut out. There you go, let's hold that up. Now I have got 2 I prepared earlier, so I'm hoping that these aren't too dry. Yeah, they're great. Okay. I use, what's the mat called?
And Stay Fresh now.
The Stay Fresh mat. If you use a Stay Fresh mat, which is, I dropped it on the floor.
Oh, well done.
It's this plastic thing, and it just keeps you can make 4 at the same time, cover it, and it doesn't dry.
Well, also it's quite heavy as well, so it keeps it nice and flat.
Okay, so
Angie's told us that Nestle eggs are stuck together, Cadbury's eggs aren't.
well, there you go. You see, you've got to do your research on your Easter eggs. Don't just think you can pick up any old egg, because it's not going to work. The thing is,
They'll be having a board meeting in
joking
Cadbury's tomorrow.
aside, if you pick up an egg and it's not stuck together, well, what are you going to do? You've got 2 choices. You can either eat it or stick it together with some chocolate. Okay. Now this time I must have overlapped a bit more, and it only needs a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it over, pick which rabbit I want. I'm just going to chop it there and just glue that side onto it. That little bit. Oh, here. Okay, so can you all see that? Yeah?
Super. That looks beautiful.
That ear doesn't want to stay up, does it?
No.
And that egg doesn't want to stay up either.
This is what happens when we go live.
Right, so I'm going to push this to the corner of my
But
board.
to be fair, so you've got to remember, there's how many lights is on here? There's got to be, there's about 18 lights in the ceiling, plus the chandelier lights. You've got 4 big hot lights on you.
I'll tell you what, it is hot actually. I didn't realise how hot it was. Just thought it was me. Right, okay, so on this I'm going to do the rabbit. Now, it's in the same set as the rabbit and chick set, and this is the one standing up. Now what you find with some of the patchwork cutters is that some of them are for embossing and some of them are for cutting. And you've got to be careful with some of them, and you've got to practice, because if you press on every single bit of this cutter, you're going to chop the head off. And it doesn't matter because you can put the head back on. But just be aware that if you just press around the edge only, then it's much better. Now, where's my Mexican paste gone? Has everybody gone to watch Harvey City?
No, we've got a very good audience.
Oh, great. Now, the rules
Any
are,
questions, John?
Trex on your board, Trex your board. And you roll, do not lift the paste, because the thing is, you're not going to get the cut out. Right, so Trex your cutter again. And I'm going to cut a full one out. So press firmly around the edge, not too close near the neck, and then flip it up and you've got your rabbits, okay? What I also want to do is build it up a little bit like, you know, in craft and cards, and you have like, is it decoupage, something like that? And so what I want to do is I want to add an extra layer to the ear, and I want to add an extra bit to the for the jacket and a one for the tail. Now it might sound a little bit confusing, but you'll see when I finish it. So all I've done is I want the extra ear, I need an extra tail, so I'm just going to press that. You can press an entire one out if you want, and a little bit of the jacket. So this time I am going to press hard on the neck because I want that jacket. And then you pull the paste away.
Everybody says they're enjoying it,
Oh, good.
so
I've just chopped it.
Could you just run through what Mexican paste is again?
Yes,
Debbie's missed the beginning.
that's fine. Don't worry, Debbie. It'll be shown again tomorrow. But it's 8 ounces of icing sugar, 3 level teaspoons of gum trag, and 6 teaspoons of cold water. And basically, Mexican paste does not allow any moisture in.
they're all saying they're still with you, they're not going anywhere, they're loving what you're doing, and Holby what? You know what, it's Sugar and Crumbs night on a Monday, they all know that. Sugar and Crumbs night, we've got a fantastic following on a Monday night. We have a super duper audience, they're very, very loyal.
Okay.
So I'm always pleased that they're here, and they all understand what pressure you're under, Sue. Every demonstrator is under pressure. I am. I get hot.
Do you know what? I
and bothered.
love demonstrating, but
And-
this is a strange one because it's not like I can't see the audience.
No, I know. And they
So-
know, but they know that. And that's what they like.
Ah, right.
They know that. They know it's difficult. So anyhow, they're all saying, well done.
Right. I think that's it. You might have a slightly shorter jacket, but we'll see if I
And
check
Kelda
it.
says rabbits have floppy ears, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you very much. Right, where's my laminate sheet? So let's colour this rabbit. Oh, look, the head's still attached. That's always a good sign. Okay, there's your jackets. These might just look like silly little bits, but it does make a difference. So,
They're all loving it. So let's see all those lovely thumbs up and love hearts. It's always nice to let our demonstrators know that you do appreciate it. The screen is flying by soon. So everybody's enjoying it. I know you're having a bit of a meltdown, but
no, I'm fine. I can't see where everything is. I'm just
Well, we've got Sarah and Lena in from Australia.
Hi, Australia. Good morning. I believe it's 7 o'clock over there.
so Sarah says, why do you need to stick the eggs together? Because if you don't stick each side of the chocolate egg together, it'll just fall open.
Yeah, because you don't want two halves. Because
You'll
you
see
need
it in a minute.
Yeah. And look, this is just the cappuccino all over.
So the love hearts, they appreciate everything that you do. Well done.
Okay.
And the fact that you're having to dust and colour these animals upside down. You're doing a great job.
Little sparkle for its tail. So that's the tail there. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to just glue that onto its tail to have a 3-dimension tail, a 3D tail. Now, because it's so small, if you actually lift it up with your palette knife, you can then place it over the top. Okay? The ear obviously has to be pink. I've probably got enough on this brush already. Do the same, turn it over, glue.
It's 8:20 in the morning in Australia.
Oh, 8:20.
Yeah. And Pam's saying you don't really want to see the audience because some are usually in bed or the bath.
Yeah, please don't tell me, yeah.
And they're in the bath. Normally Gillian Samsung's in the bath when she's watching us, and she's in the UK. So people have asked about the new Karen Davies moulds. Yes, they're in stock. If you want to order them tonight, they're on the website. They will be dispatched tomorrow. I had no pictures, which is why I didn't shout about them, but Karen Davies has kindly just sent them over to me. I've loaded them up on the website. So just wait until after this demo, because you might want to order all your patchwork cutters. There's another mould that Sue's going to use tonight. Plus she's going to use a Katie Sue mould as well.
Yeah, I'm going to be here till 1 o'clock in the morning, guys, so get your coffee ready. Yeah, Carol will be in bed, but the video will still be going and I'll still be here.
I'll show you the off button.
Right, okay. I've turned it to face me because I just need to line it up. I've got to see what I'm doing. I've already glued that, haven't I? Okay. Just place that jacket over there. Okay. And then a little bit for the eye. Now don't go too heavy-handed with the black, with the eye, because otherwise it looks like he's a bit, I don't know, staring at you. Actually, I think there's a bit of paste. That shouldn't be there. That paste shouldn't be
So
there.
where do you get the bottle with the brush from, thanks? The bottle with the brush.
That's the glue, I assume.
That's the glue, yeah. So that's basically one that she's made up herself. You can buy those little glass bottles, can't you, and brushes in. So, do you want to tell them how to make glue with Tylo?
I did that earlier.
Oh, did you?
I
Did
did.
I miss that? Was I running off getting
I
my
did.
license or
You were
something?
probably somewhere else. Yes. Right.
Being your Joey.
But basically, going back to it, it was a tiny, tiny amount of Tylo onto it, into the water and leave it overnight. And the tails come off rather than the head.
And I do sell the Stay Fresh maps. Melanie's just asked if I sold them. Yes, we do. They're fab. And there's yes, we do. Nesma, we do sell them. They're on the website.
Okay, all I'm doing is gluing this, and then I'm going to pop it on to my egg. Oh, but I can't do that backwards.
No.
No.
Can't do it backwards, I'm really, really
What camera have we
sorry.
got that we can see there,
I can
John?
do it in front of me.
No, just do it and then turn
I'm just
around.
gonna do
Do
it.
it and turn
Oh.
around.
You'll have to
Yeah.
stand up and look over it.
Uh-uh.
So you'll have to stand up and look over it while you do it.
Okay, guys, I'm going to put this rabbit on backwards.
Wait, no.
Okay, go back. Go back. Look, I've just pulled all this up. Looks a mess. Okay, go. How level is that? Have a quick look around. Okay, so there's your piece of rabbit. And then all we need to do now is make a quick daffodil that is holding.
They've asked, can they see a close-up of the edge that you did? So the edge that you did, are you able to tilt it?
Well, what about tilted this one here?
Yeah, because this one's dry. Right, so she's done one that's dry. Do you want to put it over?
Oh, do you want me to do
In
it?
fact.
There. So if you can tilt it up there, your egg's not going to fall off, is it?
No,
Put
but
it
my
in front
little
of the egg.
ones.
Just
Can I
pull,
see
take it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Down a little bit, towards you a little bit. That's it. Perfect.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So that's the edge. This is one that Sue did earlier for today, and then obviously she's made one in front of you, but it does need time to set. But this one has set.
And then you can see the rabbit bit better. The eggs, it is breaking.
So Sue's going to make this one with the rabbit. She's going to make the daffodil and the bow for you.
And a butterfly.
And a
I've got to make
butterfly.
a butterfly if it's the last thing I do tonight. Oh, and a cross. And a pansy. Right, so let's get a move on. Okay.
Yeah, get a move on.
Right, green paste.
Can you use Mexican paste for making flowers?
You can, but it dries so quick,
Yeah.
you're going to really struggle to make them.
Would they be able to keep, if they rolled it out, would they be able to keep it under the Stay Fresh mat?
Should be able to, yes.
Right, so if you're making the Mexican paste for your flowers, you can. Just remember, it's going to dry really fast, so get it under your Stay Fresh mat.
And the thing is, it will crack. You'll know straight away, it will skin over it and crack instantly, depending on the heat in the kitchen. Right, just want a couple of stalks.
Hey, they like it here on Sugar and Crumbs. Who's Mary Berry? You don't know.
Well, funny enough, I had a feed come up. It was a memory, and it was my daughter, and she'd had a photo taken with Mary Berry, and it came up on the feed this week.
Oh, Georgie Godbold's watching. So all
Hi,
of you,
Georgie.
so all of you want your scales. Georgie's just pressed a comment. Georgie, put your link up for the scales, how they can get hold of you. Because they've all been asking. So Georgie Godbold's just come up now. So if you want scales, look through the feed afterwards. Message her and she'll tell you how you can get them off her.
Oops, I want it to look as if it's holding it. Have I glued it?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Jan Jarvis, the Dust is Colour Splash range. We sell it on our website, www.sugarcrumbs.co.uk. If you message me, I'll give you the link.
Let's have a look how straight that is. That'll do. Okay. When you do yours, please work in front of you. And then you can see exactly what you're making. Right. Oops. Do you know what? I always spill my glue. It's the one thing I always spill. And do you know what? I put my lid on.
Can you show them? We've got two glues there. We sell two glues here. We sell the Squire's Kitchen glue and the Cake Star glue, which is really quite handy. Let me just show it there. It's all tucked under here. Cake Squire's, Cake Stars.
That's the
Squires and the Cake
Star.
Star.
Yes, and the Squires. But if you use water and a little bit of Tylo, then you can make your own.
You can. And Angie Andrews says she's glad to see you using the patchwork cutters. She's got a few of them and was doing it completely wrong. No wonder none of them worked for her, so she's pleased that she's watching
that's
tonight.
great. Whereabouts are you from?
Where are you from, Angie? She'll let us know in a minute.
Maybe if you guys have got a club, I can come over and do a demo or do a class, do a workshop. That'd be fab.
Yeah, Sue's looking for anybody who's got a venue. So if you've got your own cake shop and you want to bring people in for a demo, let Sue know, or if you know somebody who does demos and they want Sue to come along as well. Karen Jones says you're doing a brilliant demo and very informative live. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Right, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use a Katie Sue mould. I think one of the reasons why I'm, although Karen originally taught me, and I love her moulds and love her paste, for the past 18 months, I don't know whether you know Carol, but I'm actually on the Katie Sue design team, which basically means they send me the new moulds before they're published, and then we've got to come up with something new, which is great fun, because I get to keep the moulds and I do a lot of customer cakes. And this is one that came out last year. Now I'm actually going to show you the bigger daffodil so you can see it better on the camera, and then I'm going to pop a daffodil on the top. Now what I find with these 3 petals is that just do 2 at a time and then add a third. So again, I've coloured this, funny enough, I've coloured Karen Davis's paste because I know it works perfect in these
Let me
colours.
just ask you a question about the paste, because somebody's just asked. And I just want to say hello to my granddaughter, Ellen Minton from Australia. She's just joined us. You'll all get to see her in a couple of weeks. I'll have her on the live here. So Lynn Bond says, if you add gum track to the flour paste, is it the same as Mexican paste?
No.
No, I didn't think it was either.
So what I've done here is I've just done the 2 petals, because you're going to struggle to get the 3. Now you've got 2 options to get it off. You can use your thumb, or I came across this pink thing. It's a pink plastic thing that I bought from a kitchen shop. Don't really know what it's for. Somebody somewhere will probably tell me what it's for. It's great. It's hard, and what I find is sometimes I just scrape it on my moulds and it just comes away. You can use your thumb and that's absolutely fine. Depends what mood I'm in, to be honest.
Karen Davies says, Sue, you're doing a fabulous job.
Thank you, Karen. Well, you're the one that taught me.
Yeah. So Sue here is our training off Marion and Karen Davies, and you've been part of the Katie Sue design team.
That's right,
so
yeah.
you're well and truly trained, aren't you?
Well, tried and practiced. So I'll do this time with my thumb. I mean, the thing is, we all need to make a living, so I do customer cakes, you know, but I absolutely love the demming. Sorry.
They're all saying, don't worry, they've got their Ovaltine on and they're settled.
Right, this is one of the best tools I've used for the Katie Sue moulds. I never even knew, I've used the Dresden tool before, but this one has got like a flat edge. And I find that if you use this side of it to go in the edge, then it just smooths it off. So all I've got there is one lot of petals, so I will do another one to show.
And all your tools that you use come in both these sets.
So again, to make the 3 petals, start off with the 2 and then add a third. So always start off with the shape if you can. If you start off with the shape of the mould, then it's always a lot easier. So keep pressing. If you've got sticky fingers, use your corn flour. Don't use icing sugar because it gets too sticky and it's too granular. So I'll use the pink thing this time.
Karen Davies has managed to get on Facebook and give you a shout out. Well done, Sue.
Oh, thanks,
She
Karen.
messaged me because she was struggling to get onto place to comment, but she's done it.
I missed it the other day because I went and bought the hydrangea border. I thought I had it in and I didn't have it in my box. I know, but I wanted one myself.
Right.
I went to get the paste and then I thought, oh, I better go back and get the border. Right, so just press firmly, and then I'll use my thumb this time. And again, make sure, doesn't matter what mould it is, make sure it doesn't go over the edge, because if it does, you're going to get a lip.
Georgie Godbold says it's a lovely dem, Sue.
Thank you, Georgie. I love your wobbly ladies, and chicks, and all sorts. Now, if you have a cell stick, or a paintbrush handle, or anything that's rounded, I tend to just poke a hole in there, and then with a little bit of glue, again I'm a little bit heavy-handed with the glue.
So Lena's just said, just wanted to know, could you use gum paste to cut out the rabbits?
Gum paste is exactly the same as flour paste, so yes.
Yeah. I thought it was, so I just didn't want to say.
Okay,
I
so
get
that's the
myself
bottom
muddled up with all
bit.
the different words.
So I'll just do, now is it the trumpet next? The middle bit? Is it called the trumpet?
Yes.
See, I'm not brilliant with my flowers. I have done flowers. Now this is just a makeup brush that I got whilst I was on holiday. Start off with a smooth ball and then press it in. Oops. Sticky fingers, sorry. Colour paste away. Now the only tricky thing to this is that if you imagine a lampshade, you're trying to join a lampshade into like a circular. So what we're doing now is we take it out of the mould, you've got all these pleats. So you need to glue the edge and then try to get it to stick together. And all I'm doing here is pushing it there.
Emily Richards is saying, what is the best paste for the Katie Sue moulds? Depends, I think, on how thin they are. Because I've used Karen Davies, and I've had to use flour paste sometimes because it's really thin.
It depends how detailed the mould is.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly honest, I always use. It's your personal choice. I use Karen Davies flour paste, or just add a little bit of Tylo. And then just pick it up and pop it in the centre. If it pulls apart, then that's fine. Just push it back together and there's your daffodil. Now, what I find is that if you leave it overnight to dry and then you can pop it on your cake. You can put it in formers. I've got one I prepared earlier. Can I just put that there? Cheers. Now I've got some little ones here. Oh, while I remember, these are the other ones. Okay. And all I've done here is just frilled the edge.
John was just putting his feet up then, he thought you were staying in that position.
Oh, no.
He's had to get up and do some work.
Okay, so what I've done there is I've just frilled the edge. Actually, I'll show you how I did that. Shall I now?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't worry, I've got a spare one. It's alright. Let me take this off and then I can show you how to just frill the edge here. Using this tool here.
Everything she's using tonight, we've got 95% of everything tonight. We haven't got the little glass jar, that's her own.
Oh, I thought you did, sorry.
That little glass bottle of brushing?
Yeah.
No.
You need to get some of those.
You can buy them off eBay, can't you?
Yeah, well, you buy them off eBay and then sell them. Okay, so we've just filled the edge and it just gives an extra fluted effect for the daffodil, and pop that back on, so you've got a different one there. And all I'm going to do now is pop some royal icing if I have any idea where it is.
It's right. Oh,
okay, I have no idea which camera is facing me, whether it's full on, undo, or anything. I think I'm just going to like
John's waving at you.
Oh, you're over there. Hi, Carol. Right, okay, so let's pop this daffodil on.
You've got 4 cameras in the kitchen.
There's cameras everywhere.
4 cameras in the kitchen,
okay.
and Maria.
And I've got to make sure I do it backwards. Right, I'm just going to put some royal icing where I think is the top of the stem, and then I'm going to, this is one I made earlier, I'm going to pop it on there. Now there's probably way too much royal icing.
Superdrug sell those bottles with brushes in.
Let's have a little look. Let's have a see. That's not too bad.
No, it's fantastic.
Okay. That rabbit has lost its ear, but you know what? That's fine.
You've done fantastic. To have to do it backwards, you've done very well, Sue. Everybody knows it's difficult.
Could you just turn him round to that camera?
And those formers,
that one.
Just spin him round.
And the little white formers that Sue's using, we do sell those as well. They're on the website.
They're really, really good. You just put your.
You get a set of 12, don't you?
Yeah.
These little formers, we get a set of 12 in a packet. They're on the website as well. So they're under Patchwork cutters and Sugarcraft accessories.
Right, so I'm quickly going to show you a bow. Now this bow, you have 4 different sizes, and I'll show you here. So you've got large, medium, slightly smaller and small. So I'm just going to show you the medium one because they are so easy to do. Again, it's Patchwork cutters. And it comes with an instruction manual as well. So if you do forget and you can't find Carol's link, it comes with a set of instructions. So if you really do forget, it's got all the instructions there.
All the cutters are on our website.
It's a bit dirty, that, sorry.
That shows it's well used.
And I believe that Marion also has a free tutorial on it as well.
Oh.
Because I'm fairly certain when I was first demming, I actually used that tutorial because I forgot how to do it. Okay, so this bow, they come in two lots. You've got the bow bit and the tail bit. Just need some pink Mexican paste. Okay, so guys, you know what I'm going to say now. You're going to trax your board, roll the paste, do not lift. And if you can, use flour paste or Mexican paste. So,
It's a little chant that, isn't it? Okay. Grease your board, roll it, do not lift.
okay. Now, actually, in all fairness, you can do it a little bit thicker than normal because there's only one real section. Little bit of grease on the cutter. Press, and if need to, just flick it off. Same again with this. Press firmly, flick it, pull the paste away, and you've got your bow. Now, you can colour it at this stage if you wish. Let's get some we'll get some sparkle on this, shall we? There you go. It's just a shiny pearl luster. It's pearl shimmer. Now with this one, turn this section over and turn that one towards you. Oh no, because you wanted me to do it upside down, didn't you? You're alright with this?
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. Okay, now all you do is you glue that section there, that section there, and the very, very top of the bow, of the tails. And you go up and over and press down, up and over and press. And then this top bit, just fold it over. Now, when I first started doing this, I never used to do this bit, but it makes such a difference because it's like a hem. A bit of glue. Now, it's quite hard to pick that up, so you can either get a cocktail stick or your palette knife. No, cocktail stick. There you go. Lift it up, put it over the glue, and up and over again for the middle section. And then you've got your bow. Use your cocktail stick to push it together. Now, at this stage, if you want to make it more plush, just push that in, okay? When you're doing the big one, here, you need to put some kitchen roll in to hold its shape. Because it's big, it will flop, so you do need a kitchen roll or some tin foil. And then you can pop it on your cake. Let's get a little bit of glue. Top. This isn't going to hold. There you go. How does that look? Is it there? Okay. Let's have it done. Oh yeah. Okay, so that's your bow. Any questions for that?
Fantastic, very pretty.
How are we doing for questions?
So I'm waiting for John to answer questions. I'm putting links up.
Right, okay, so that's the
That's
bow.
very, very pretty.
Okay.
And very easily done. You look at that as though it's so hard.
No, there's one more thing you got to do. And you need to do lots and lots of research for this. You need to find which is your favourite mini egg.
Oh, don't say that. Maria, myself, and Zoe last week, we all ate them for fun.
So, get which ones. Actually, these Smarty ones have got some really, really nice colours. Nearly ate one then. Just start choking on live Facebook. Right, so all I'm going to do here is a little bit of royal icing and place them around the edge of the egg, which I can't see, but This is what you got to
Pull
do.
it forward towards you a little bit.
A little bit
You want
forward,
to?
towards me.
Yeah, so
Oh,
you can
can I actually see?
Can you see? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can turn it a little bit towards you. How are you doing, John? You see?
Have one standing up. Have one standing up.
Which
can go
camera are you
now.
on, John?
Hmm?
Which camera are you on from Rio? Which camera are you on?
Oops.
Because you're rearranging the cameras and I've got them under this one.
Okay. And then all I would do
You need
is,
to turn it
on-
round to that camera. So sorry, John's not told you which camera you're on.
I wasn't listening actually.
No.
I'm going to world on my own. Have you just eaten my mini eggs?
It fell off.
It fell off. Now that was what I did a dem like a week or so ago, but that's fine.
Yeah, it likes all days.
So all I would do then is I would put some royal icing on the top of the cake and place the board directly on top of the cake. Oops, once it's dry, I wouldn't pick it up when it's wet. And then I'm going to move it now for the camera view. And that's your Easter cake made.
Yeah, it looks fabulous.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that? How cute is that, guys? Is that really
Shall we
pretty?
go back to that one there?
Which camera are we on, John?
Oh, both a bit wonky.
Well, everything's got to take chance to stick.
Yeah.
So, hello, Ella Minton.
And
Looking
don't
forward to
forget-
seeing you in 2 weeks.
You've got your hydrangea cupcakes.
Helen Mills, it is easy. Those bows are fab, aren't they?
They are fab. There's
Yeah.
2 bits to it, and you just cut them out. I remember reading somewhere on the selling site saying, please help me. I don't know how to make a bow.
They're all loving it. They're absolutely loving it. Thank you.
You're
It's nice to
welcome.
show you appreciation. And Melanie, I hope you've given you all the links there. So I have put on the links during the feed for the patchwork cutters, for the dust, for the Karen Davies page, for the Sugarpaste, for the sugar accessories page, so that you've all got everything.
Right. Do you know what? I am going to now show you a cross and a pansy. Really.
A cross and a pansy.
A cross and a pansy.
Oh, you never mentioned a pansy before.
I did not. I did.
No.
I did.
Yes.
Did you?
I did.
You've not listened to anything.
No,
right?
you see.
Well, I am.
But that's fine. Right. I'm going to pop that over
over
there.
me tonight. I've had to work tonight.
Which camera do you want that settled on?
In front there is good. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Right.
not
Let me
liking
just
it.
clear this. Just a second. While I
The
get.
bow cutter, Angie, is excellent. And you've got all those 4 different, is it 4 or 5
There's
different
4.
sizes?
There are 4 sizes here. Okay, so you got your large, slightly less more. You can see the sizes, okay?
They're on our website. I've put the link up for the patchwork cutters. Message me or otherwise just go to our website www.sugarandcrumbs.co.uk. Look for brands and drop down to patchwork cutters.
Right, okay. so-
Jackie Richards says don't forget the butterfly.
Oh, do you know what? I know. It will go over then
You've got to-
slightly.
you've got
I
to-
can't do that
you've got-
across the pansy and a butterfly, but I definitely want to do the butterfly. Now this cross set is great because you can mix and match. You can have a plain cross, you can have a gold cross, you can have them with flowers on, you can have them with frilly bits on. All I'm going to do, I'm going to do a simple one for timing issues. Well, actually, it's not simple. Well, no, when I say it's not simple, it's simple to make, but it looks fancy. So here's my Mexican paste. Okay, and I'm going to Trex the board. Roll the paste, don't lift.
Do you say that to yourself?
I do actually.
I have a little chant when I'm using my nifty nozzles. I can never remember it until I've got my nifty nozzles in my hand and then I say it.
Roll, don't lift. Roll, don't lift. The thing is, if you take away, it doesn't matter what you think of what. As long as you go away from this Facebook Live and know that I've taught you, and you've gone away with at least one thing that you've learned, whether it be make the sugar glue, make a bow, or Trex your board, or whatever.
I think they've learnt a lot tonight.
Then
so
I've done my job.
You've done your job. You've done very well. And they've all been giving you the thumbs up tonight. You've done
Do you
very
know what?
well.
I actually learnt German for 2 years because I was stemming in Germany. I don't go there anymore. I wish I'd learned Spanish.
Yeah, you could have had a good old chat with
Yeah.
me.
Right, so this,
Sometimes Maria comes in here with a Spanish head on and we have to start all over again.
okay, press firmly and flick. This is a circle one. Again, Trex the cutter. Press and flick. I'm coated in Trex. At least no one said again what the Trex is. And I just need 3. They're like little daffodils. Okay, pull the paste away. Oops. If need to, just place your finger gently over the cutout and then comes away. You know the scariest bit about this, Carol? It was actually driving here.
Was it?
Yeah.
Listen, it was scary when you weren't here. John and I thought we were going to have to do this demo. I was asking John what was his skills on patchwork cutters.
Well, you know now. Check the board, roll don't lift, use Mexican paste. Or rinse your flour and model.
As the time went past 6 o'clock and you weren't still,
I'll be ready for the next one then.
You still weren't here, not answering your phone. We were really panicking.
It's fine. I've gone past the turn off actually. That's what it was.
Well, they all love our Monday nights and they all love our demonstrators, as they're just saying. And they're saying it's a brilliant demo.
Great.
They love it. So we've just got a couple of more things to go. We're not going to stay here forever.
Oh,
We'll probably be finishing in about 20 minutes if you can hang on.
Where's the glue?
Where's the glue?
Oh, there you go. I'll put it back. Sorry,
If
guys.
you can hang on.
Right, so I'm just going to glue the little parts together.
Sue's showing you a hell of a lot of things tonight, so hang on for her.
Right, are they all going?
No, 1 or 2 have had to go because they've got to get up in the morning, but they have said they've loved the demo and they're sorry they've had to go. They'll
Right,
catch up. But everybody else, hang on for her. She's working hard and working fast. And they're all asking about this butterfly, so you're not...
Oh, I'm not going anywhere with the butterflies. The butterflies are my favourites. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I can always do a butterfly instead of a pansy. No, I'll do the pansy, quick pansy. I don't even have to colour it, do I? Right, so there's your cross. Make sure before you set it to dry that it's all straight, because sometimes it does go a little bit skewy. And please leave it to dry overnight, or at least a few hours, because it won't take long to dry.
Don't worry, everyone. She's going to do the butterfly.
I won't go
They're all
anywhere.
shouting out, butterfly, butterfly, butterfly. She's going to
Look,
do
you
the
got a
butterfly.
cross. What's wrong?
Let's do the cross first.
Okay,
She's going
so-
to do the butterfly.
Okay, here's one I made earlier that has dried overnight. And I'm just going to lustre it up so you can see the detail in the pattern. Now, this doesn't have to be just for Easter. It can be for christenings, Holy Communions.
Melanie Grant's going, shout butterfly. I've shouted
You
it.
can have crosses and butterflies. Oh, that's way too much powder, hang on.
I never realised butterflies were in such demand.
Too much.
I know, they're saying wonderful ideas for Easter. That's Pat King's shot. Wonderful ideas for Easter for a great-granddaughter's children.
Okay, so I'm just going to put this cross to one side. I'm going to make one quick pansy before I go on to the butterfly.
Finish off your cross, don't worry.
The cross is finished.
It's 29:53. We've got 7 minutes till 10 o'clock, so you've got time, and we can just run over. So
29.53, what part are you on?
it's 29:53.
Okay.
21.
21:53. I know. I never get it right. You know I don't. Everybody's got used to me.
Okay, so put some corn flour in the Katie Sue pansy mould.
30 hours in a day is a bit much though.
You get your
I think
paste.
that's because I think I work 30 hours a day. I've been awake since 2:30 this morning. I've only had 2.5 hours sleep.
Wow. Okay, so actually, should I do it on the green? It'll show better. Sorry. There you go. So the pansy comes with 2 different size leaves, 2 different size pansies. You've just got to work out how they all go together. Now, again, I mentioned earlier about if you've got a mould, try and shape the paste to the shape of the mould. So all I'm going to do is roll it into a ball and roll it and
Jade Rainey's watching from the US. She says, take as long as you like. It's daytime there.
why don't you get me over there? I
Yeah.
desperately want to go to the States. Sorry, I need that.
They're all saying they're not going anywhere, they're waiting.
Right.
Thank you everyone for staying to the end. You know, when these demonstrators come in and they're working for you, it's so nice when you can stay to the end. Because they've done so much preparation, getting everything together, travelling over here. It really is good.
AA auto route.
What was the long bit on the cross?
The long bits, it was the actual cross.
It was the actual cross.
Yeah. I don't know where
That was
it
the
is now.
question.
No, there was a long straight bit.
Oh, it was just a pattern.
It was just a pattern, was it?
That you can put on or not put on. It's
Oh, so
entirely
you
up
can
to
have
you.
it plain or you can have it like
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I actually don't know what size I'm doing. So that one, and that one is for the smaller one. This is for the slightly bigger one.
They're all saying they're staying with you, so don't worry. And some of them are late to the party. Denise Porter's late to the party. She's only just arrived.
Okay, so we've got our 3 together. And then all you need to do then is colour it, colour the edges and pop them together. Have we got time to colour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all staying anyhow.
I'm going to do a...
Lynn
a
Bond says
really-
she loves the cross. She has a Holy Communion cake to make and this will make it beautiful. It does make nice Holy Communion cakes.
It does.
doesn't it?
Funny enough, I've got a Holy Communion order today. Do you know what? I'm going to do a pink one because I've got the pink handy. Okay, so rub your dry paste, powder into the kitchen roll and just gently colour it. You can colour your paste first, that's absolutely
You see,
fine.
okay.
I just find I don't like lots of coloured paste around the house when I've got all these powder colours.
To be fair, if you've got powder colours, you should be using them, don't you? It's too easy to just store powder colours.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't buy shoes and handbags. I buy cake decorating colours and brushes. Okay, I don't know what kind of pansy that one is, but it's a pink blush pansy now. Okay, so then what we do, you've got to remember that the big one goes at the back. Turn that over and glue the edge. And then the middle bit section goes there. You can press that in the centre if you want. And maybe a bit of yellow on the tip. You can then put some lines as well, but I'm not going to do that now.
Doreen Griffin says if she moves to make a coffee, she'll miss something, so she can't have that. You know what you
Pour
lot all,
yourself a quick whiskey.
they all need to invest in having a flask by the side of the chair. That's what they need to do.
And there's your pansy, okay? So you can have it flat, you can colour it some more, or you can make some lines, and these are the ones I've made earlier.
That's cute, isn't it?
So these
How
are my
lovely
little
is
purple
that?
ones.
That just comes together, doesn't it, really well?
And so what I would do is I would dry those in an egg. I think, do you sell them?
Can you just take them, pull them back a little bit, please?
No, but I'm near my sticker.
We do
No.
sell them.
Sorry. How's that?
Perfect.
Can you see them?
Perfect.
You sell these?
Yeah, we sell these.
And all I've done is I've dried them in their... Don't put these down.
Ours are whiter than that.
Yeah, this is a really cream dirty colour, but I've had it a few years. So, before
So
I
do you want
move
to get
on...
our lovely white one from the back, Maria, to show them?
Oh, I'd like one of them. Okay, so...
If you buy one off us, you get a lovely, nice white one.
Oh, yeah, that looks fab. Sorry, can I just get this? Okay.
Those pansies are brilliant, aren't they?
The thing is, they're really quick and easy to use.
Yeah,
You've got
but
two
they're very
different
effective,
sizes.
aren't they?
Two different sizes. Right, so I'm going to stick it on the other way. I'm going to just get the dry one. Now, if you wanted to, you can paint that silver. That might look really, really good. This is the dry one, and all I'm going to do is put some royal icing on.
Janet Brown says she's the same as you. She's got more cake accessories than bags and shoes.
Yeah. and then pop that to one side. Now you can hardly see that colour, so yes, I would do it silver. A nice silver cross.
Oh, that's lovely,
And
isn't
then
it?
pop these little pansies on, just around the edge. Funny enough, I done this the other week in a little place called Suckton. Don't know whether any Suckton ladies are watching tonight. That's from North Wales in near Wrexham.
Oh, Jackie Slater says,
Mould even.
Jackie Sizer says her 2 kittens have been stuck in the garden since she started watching.
Oh.
Well, at least they'll have learnt now how to use the cat flap.
And possibly just have a couple on the edge.
How pretty is that?
Now you do have the leaves. I'm not actually going to glue the leaves this minute. You need to glue the leaves. But if you just put the leaves on with a little, sorry, I've got my arm in the way.
You have to put the leaves on because otherwise
You've got to
it
put
won't
the
finish.
leaves on, royalise them on, colour them a little bit more, and then you've got an Easter themed cake, you've got a christening cake, and it didn't take that long to make. So there you go.
Very pretty. Right, thumbs up. How beautiful is that? Let's give it a thumbs up, ladies and gents. Sorry, I forgot we have guys watching as well. How lovely is that? There you go. There's your Holy Communion cake.
Right,
That's very
okay.
pretty, isn't it?
One
It's
more
quite
thing.
easy to put together, that.
Well, yeah, I mean the thing is, what I tend to do is if I'm making pansies or I'm making daffodils, I'll make 3 times as many that I need. And then as long as you store them correctly. Now, if you're going to store excess items of flowers or anything like that, always store them in a cardboard box, like a cake box.
Yeah.
Don't put them in a Tupperware box
No,
because they're going to sweat.
They flop, yeah.
But I have an excess box with all sorts of stuff in. Right, okay.
Jay Brainey says that's a lovely clean dem.
Thank you very
That
much.
one. No, that's a good tip. We need to remind them that. Don't ever save any of these sugar paste flowers or anything in a plastic box. You'll have just wasted all your hard work making them, won't you? I did that once.
Yeah.
I made them all. I couldn't believe I actually did decorated the cake, put them on, I put the cake on those big tall plastic boxes.
Oh.
Oh.
Now, butterflies. Have you got a new pack?
I haven't a new pack yet.
Just to show, because I've got too many in here.
All right, let me just have a look. 'Cause you know when you launched them over here.
Yeah.
So
Oh, sorry, I did. Well, I nicely put them over there. There's
let me
this.
just see.
Oh, there it is. Found
You
it.
got it?
Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't bust it. Right. This butterflies. You get all these.
Take it all out and show them if you want.
Oh, no, I don't want to mix it all with mine. Okay, you've got a huge butterfly. You've got so many different sizes of butterflies. You've got ladybirds, you've got bees. I remember staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning painting perfectly accurate butterflies for a wedding cake because they wanted specific names of butterflies. I mean, it looked amazing, but the time that we put into our cakes is unreal. Now, I tend to colour mine when they're dry. Marion Frost says you can colour them when they're still soft. I've never tried it soft, but I've got some dried ones to try. So, get your Mexican paste, and again, I've got a box full of butterflies. Okay, so get your Mexican paste. You know what I'm going to say, John, now, don't you? Would you like to show them this? You sure?
Absolutely.
Okay. You can trax your board, roll the paste, and don't lift that paste up. Now the butterflies are very detailed and they need quite thin paste. Okay, so you're almost seeing through the board. And my rule of thumb before was the more detailed it is, the more tracks you need. You don't want it sticking in there. Do you know what? I looked up then and saw people on the phones thinking, oh, how rude is that? But I realised,
messages.
you're not my audience, are you? So, okay. Press firmly and lift. flick, press, flick. See how far it goes. And again, pull your paste away from the butterfly. If you need to, get a cocktail stick just in that bit. Now to dry it, I've got a fab former for drying my butterflies. Can I just grab this? And it's called a piece of paper.
They click off quick, don't they?
Hey, you're watching. I'm only going to do this once and then it'll be repeated on YouTube tomorrow. So you fold it in half. Actually, I ought to move those. Can I just move those butterflies before I show you this? Otherwise they're going to get destroyed. Okay. Okay, they're just flying away just for a minute. Just for a sec. Okay, so fold it in half.
So Barbara Haslam says, how long can you keep the butterflies when they're dried?
Ages. I have mine weeks and weeks and weeks, if not months.
Yeah. The thing is, once they do dry, they're there forever until they break, aren't they?
Fold again. Then you have a former where you can put your butterflies in the centre. Now for years I used to try and get it in that centre gap. I used to spend ages and ages, Carol, honest to God, trying to get it in there and it wouldn't get in. You know the easiest way to do it? Flatten your paper, put your butterfly on the centre line, okay? Get your other butterfly because obviously you've cut out a load of butterflies. Oops. And then push it back up.
I just turn mine
And
upside
fill.
down and put them on the thing.
Well, you can.
See that join there?
Well, you
I
can.
just turn them upside down.
I
and
like
that
them.
way.
Well, you see, we all have different preferences, don't we, Carol? You can put them in the centre, you can put them on the other line, whatever takes your
So you
fancy.
carry on thinking years how you did yours.
Oh,
I just
do you
put
know
them
what?
on
You can actually, that's not a bad idea. You could do double the amount of butterflies if you do it Carol's way.
They just flip them upside down so that the pattern's down
Yeah,
over that fold.
true.
Yeah.
I just have a habit of doing that. You know, when you get into a habit of doing something. Right, now, here are my butterflies I made earlier.
So Karen Jones says, what paste would you recommend for the alphabet and numbers, please?
Are they patchwork cutters? If they're patchwork cutters, use Mexican paste. Or Durentia or modern paste.
They're all laughing.
Are they laughing? What are they laughing at?
Well, you took years to think of that one. I just told you to flip it upside down.
I know. Right, okay. I'm going to quickly colour one because it's a really good technique and it's a run out. Now, which one am I going to colour? Now, this time I need an orange. Actually,
What are you making now?
I'm colouring a butterfly.
Oh, right. Oh, okay, sorry.
Is that okay?
Oh, my daughter-in-law. So everybody who watched Ryan the other week, his wife has just joined us as well, Rosanna, due to have our 8th grandchild. So,
Oh, 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
our little Rosie. Hi, Rosanna. Yeah.
Okay, so which one shall I do? I will do, I want a medium one. Actually, I'll do this one. Okay. Now, I tend to colour both sides. Almost done, everybody. Right, cream. Cream colour, and I need a black. Black I'll do. Right. So using isopropyl alcohol, I tend to go for a nice cream colour. Okay. Always do it in the lids because it will dry back to the powder and then the powder will go back into the tub. Oops. There you go, flick it over. It's probably almost dry anyway. And then, can you see that? It's not a very open one. Be a bit more open if it was Carol's way of doing it, wouldn't it? You're not going to see the effect. We've got a more open one. Right, okay, I'm going to change butterflies. I'm just going to quickly do this cream. I'm not going to do the other side. Right, you're going to love this other effect. I'm just going to do an orange tip butterfly because they're one of my favourites. Don't see them very often in the garden though.
Linda Mills says the writing is in the way.
Writing.
I think if you just,
No, it's not. It's fine.
is it the logo? Was that in the way?
Okay.
It's a lovely orange, that, isn't it?
Yeah. This is
I
just
love
called
orange.
orange on its own.
Yeah, it's a lovely
It's
orange.
the powdered.
Do you know, I love it just for the, yeah, I know it's the powder, but I love it for the buttercream as well. It makes a gorgeous
Do you know what?
buttercream.
I'm really, really pleased that's broken because I was going to show you how to fix it when it breaks. No, I usually paint it perfectly and then I break it and everybody in the audience goes, oh no! But that's what happens and I'm just going to fix it and that's absolutely fine.
Well, you know what? They always want to learn how to fix it because it does kill when your butterfly breaks, doesn't it?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that's why you could probably, if you coloured them whilst they were soft, then they're less likely to break. Now, what technique I'm going to do now is, if you put lots of the liquid into the powder, you are tempted to wipe it off, that drop, the excess on the edge, and wipe the excess off. But I want that excess because I want to drop it into here so it actually runs into the holes. Did you see that? Okay, do it again. So don't you wipe the excess off. I'm going to go along the edge. I'll do it that way. You can see. See how it all runs in there. And I'll do the other wing.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
just running in. And it's like flooding the lines. I don't spend
Yeah.
hours painting in those lines.
No, that's good, isn't it?
Okay, so I know this butterfly is in half.
You've got me back now.
So I'll do,
Crikey, that sounds good.
if it's not running, now, it doesn't work with water. It doesn't work that well with vodka. If it's not running well, it's because it's not running enough. Put some more isopropyl alcohol in for the run. So let's try this side.
Well, look at that, that's good.
Yeah, and it goes in all of the crevices there. Okay. Paint this bit orange. So I've got two. Right, I'm almost done.
That's good, I like that. That's very good.
Oops, that looks a bit grubby.
Karen Jones says she's got the tappet letters, but she can never get them out.
Okay, tappet letters. You need to just normal sugar paste with some Tylo added, roll it out thin on corn flour, and then literally you tap the letters out.
Julie Crompton, we do sell the spirit, and it's on our website. It's also under Sugarpaste accessories. Message me if you can't find it. Anybody can't find anything, just message me. I'll tell you where it is. But not tonight, tomorrow.
Right, now, if your butterfly breaks, that's easy. If your body breaks like that, what you need to do is you need to take the actual body bit off and snap that body off so you've got that. Then if you get a little bit of sugar paste, it doesn't matter whether it's sugar paste, flour paste, Mexican paste, as long as it's a little bit of paste.
Karen says when her butterflies break, she just scoffs them.
No, no, no. Put them back on the cake. And what you do is you make a little body. And you get a little bit of paste like this. And I tell you what, let's pop it on this cupcake. So put the body on. Doesn't matter if it's black, it's got black powder. It's not, my hands are dirty, they're not. Honest. And then glue your butterfly onto there. A little bit of glue either side. And then push your wings into the paste. Now at this point you may have to get some kitchen roll to hold them, okay, but it's almost holding there. And then go back and paint your body, and your butterfly is absolutely fine. Bit of a mess, this one. If you're putting it onto a cake, all you do is get some royal icing. No, it's in the piping bag. Do you know where it is, anybody?
Yeah, royal icing bag.
Ah, there you go. I didn't think I was going to use it again. Put some royal icing onto the back of the butterfly and pop it onto your cake. You won't be able to probably see that.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah. And that's your butterfly.
Yeah.
Okay, looks a little bit of a mess, but look, thank you everyone for having me. I hope you enjoyed the show.
Great.
I know I've enjoyed it, so I don't know what anybody else. It's a bit of a mess down here, honest to God, right? I think the bin is down the floor. She can't see the floor for rubbish.
I noticed you were launching things on the floor.
Did you see that?
Didn't you do well, guys? Go on, give her the thumbs up and the love heart. You've been very good. When she watches this back and she sees how much you've appreciated it, it's been fantastic. Loads of work. I do appreciate you coming over every Monday. It's a free tutorial on a Monday. Our demonstrators come over. They come over for you free of charge, and they give up their time free. They put everything together. They buy it all themselves. So, you know, it really is appreciated that you do come over, you do follow them. Go over to Sue Yummy Cakes page, give her a like, follow her page for her. And if any of you guys have got shops and you want demonstrators to come down, Sue is looking for demo work to do. So please message her. Don't message me, please message Sue. John, you look as though you've got a question there. No? Oh, right, okay then. So I just want to say a massive thank you. Everything that Sue has showed you tonight is for sale on our website. So for you guys who don't know what our website is, it's www.sugarandcrumbs.co.uk. Go to brands, that's the easiest way to find things. You can put things in the search box. Also, Maria has put all the links back up on the site as well. Just to let you know that Barina's smoothers are back in stock this week as well. They are on the website, but they won't get dispatched till Wednesday, Thursday. So the smoothers are back in stock. So everything that Sue has shown you tonight is in stock and on the website.